Today we're talking with my good friend David Simcox and how he is absolutely crushing the start of his YouTube channel. And just in the first couple of months, he's already got 2 deals under contract for over 1.5 million. He's got another 3 deals about to drop as well. And he's working with an international client from Switzerland already, which he said he's never actively marketed to Switzerland. But that's the power of passively prospecting through your YouTube channel, is that now you have a global presence and you can attract people from all over the world. And it's a lot easier too, because that's exactly where they're going to be starting their research, is from afar, because they're not just going to come in randomly and search homes on a weekend, right? So if somebody's moving from out of state or out of the country, they're likely always going to go onto YouTube. And David's in a small market around Savannah, Hilton Head. So, he's able to capitalize on this as well. And what he really likes about doing this is that he's becoming the subject matter expert in his area, because he's researching topics for his YouTube channel that is getting him out in communities that he doesn't spend a lot of time in. It's getting him to read a lot more articles online. It's getting him a lot more familiar with places that he hasn't been. And so now he feels extremely confident, especially if he gets some calls or leads from these areas, that he can educate these clients a lot more effectively because of his research that he's doing on YouTube to make better content for his clients. So you're going to enjoy this, and you can see how quickly this could happen for you in your business. And this is quicker than what happened with our business. So I'm really excited to share David's story with it. Let's get into the video. Welcome, David. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm excited to share your journey on YouTube over the past couple of months. You've had some, I would say, quick success. I mean, just because I think you're maybe a little bit of ahead of where we're at, where we were at when we started out. But of course, we forwarded over the roadmap, right? The shortcut. So that helps out quite a bit. But you're in Savannah, right? You're in Savannah or close by there?
Bluffton, Hilton Head, Hilton Head Island, Jasper County, and Beaufort, South Carolina. We're about 20 minutes away from Savannah, right across the border.
Okay, cool. And how long you been in real estate?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. Yeah. And what was your main lead source before YouTube?
So I do a lot of Facebook advertising and sphere of influence and cold calling, like Red X, just dialing. So.
Okay. And is that something you're just in the motions? Is that something you enjoyed to do? Have you seen, let's say, is that something that you just started out and you just kind of got in the habit of doing that? Or is it something that you like to do? Because I know sometimes people are like, man, I just love picking up the phone and calling people. Are you a cold caller?
I honestly don't mind cold calling. I actually like it. It's kind of enjoyable for me to sit and, pound out 100 calls. But with that being said, the calls and the conversations that I've had from people calling in off my YouTube, it's like night and day. It's so much better. I mean, when I'm calling like a Facebook lead, I know that, like, on average, I have to generate like 100 to have like 1 or 2 or 3 conversations. And then when I do get them on the phone, they're kind of annoyed that I'm calling them. They're just like, hey, yeah, I just wanted the free list of houses or whatever. Yeah, I might, you know what I mean? They just kind of blow you off a little bit. And when I answer the phone from like these YouTube calls, they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe we're talking to David Simcox. Like, we feel like we know you, and oh, you're like a celebrity. I mean, it's comical. Like, my kids have been in the background listening to some of these calls, and they're like, you're such a dork, Dad. Like, I can't believe that people are treating you this way. But it's a night and day conversation. And then at the same time, now I've had quite a few people fly into town and come visit, and I mean, they just treat you so nice, so it's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. You were sharing me offline some stats. So we want to say around 3 months, three to 4 months, give or take, you started the channel. 19 leads, 2 under contract, right? For $1.5 million. So you got one around 430,000, another one for just over $1 million, right?
Yeah. So one for about 400 and change. And then the other one, we just went under contract on a piece of land, which was in a neighborhood. The piece of land was right under 200K. And then they'll be building a custom home, and I'll be getting paid from the custom home builder as well. And that'll be about $1 million and change project.
Wow. So in totality, that's going to be around 1.3. ish?
Yeah, 1.4 at 1.5, somewhere in there.
Man, that's
Yeah,
not bad, right? For a lead from
yeah,
YouTube. And
yeah.
you've got somebody from Switzerland, so you're already international. You got somebody
Yeah, so that
from
was pretty interesting. I had some folks that they're from the United States, but they were working in Switzerland. They're expats, and they have a couple of kids that they wanted to bring them back and let them finish up their couple of high school years here. So they're actually working with me to buy remotely here, and I've just been showing them things on the computer and doing like virtual walkthroughs and video calls, and they're gonna go. They've already applied and got accepted at the school here, at the private school. So they'll be closing on something. We haven't picked out a house exactly yet, but they're right on the cusp. And then I had another couple fly in that put in a couple of offers that we've been going back and forth with. So within a week or two, they'll be under contract. And they said they'll be here with their moving truck in a couple of weeks. So yeah, a lot of good stuff happening.
Wow, that's amazing. So let me ask you about Switzerland. Did you have you ever cold called Switzerland for business?
No,
Have
I
you ever
never.
have you ever run Facebook ads there?
No.
Nope. But you got a phone call and they found you. That's amazing. I know. We've helped a lot of international clients, and it blows me away because that's the case, right? We would never market or advertise, no matter what we're doing around our local market. It just wouldn't make sense. I mean, it just wouldn't to say, yeah, let's start a campaign in Switzerland, right, or England, or South Africa, Philippines. I mean, Japan. It's just crazy where the clients that we've helped come in, and that's all just because of the YouTube channel. So it's funny. You better tell your kids too, right? They better ask for your autograph instead of making fun, because maybe at one point you won't be willing to give it to. I know you'll help them out, but that's funny.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about that. Just so you got two or three on the cusp right now as well. Let's
Yeah.
get into a little bit more of the content that you're creating as well. And are you getting feedback from them? Are they mentioning any specific videos, or are they just saying, look, I love everything or every video?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Like the people that have come into town and they're like riding around in the car with me, like they'll talk about things from the video. They'll be like, "Remember when you said da 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 da?" Like they bring, and I'm like,
Oops.
I pretend like I remember, but honestly, I don't remember. I'm like, yeah, sure, I remember talking about that. It's almost like they remember the videos better than I do,
Oh yeah.
because I'm always like, cranking them out, and then I just kind of forget about them after they're out there. Um, and as far as content is concerned, I'm just using a lot of your strategies as far as like going to Google and I'll type in like Hilton Head Island, which is a huge tourist destination. But then scrolling down, it'll have questions. People who asked this also asked, like, what are the top restaurants in Hilton Head? Is good Hilton Head a good place to live? Is, things like that. And then I just go think of a way to make a video about that, so it basically matches up with the search terms. And I know this is kind of cheesy too, but it's working sort of for me, as I've been using Chat GPT to give me some ideas, because I mean I'm on like 40 videos now, and sometimes I'm just racking my brain to come up with ideas. And so sometimes I'll just go to Chat GPT and I'll be like, hey, write me a 15-minute YouTube script about the pros and cons of living in Bluffton, South Carolina. And it'll come up with some great stuff. Or I'll even say, come up with a funny video about living in Bluffton, South Carolina. And it'll give me a whole script and bullet points. And I don't do it verbatim, but it just gives me like some material, and it gives me some stuff to go off of. And I'll be like, oh, I didn't think about that. And then, so I'll use that a little bit. And then I do a lot of like screen share videos, going through neighborhoods or whatever. Like, I did one yesterday. We'll see how it does, but I did an entire video on one neighborhood that's one of the biggest neighborhoods, most popular neighborhoods here. And so I did like an amenity tour where I went around to all the amenities and filmed that. And then I did a drive by, and then I jumped back into my computer and did a screen share and did like a quick little market snapshot of, is it, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Average days on market, average price per square foot, like stuff like that, like actual crunch the numbers with them. So, and
Yeah.
I've been kind of, I've been flip flopping between like real estate videos and lifestyle videos. So I'll do like restaurants, and then that same week I'll try to do something that's more real estate heavy.
Okay, so let me. I want to come back to that here in a minute. So remind me about that just in case. But you mentioned Chat GPT,
Yep.
but you also said cheesy. Do you think you think Chat
Well,
GPT is a little cheesy?
no, I don't think it's cheesy. I think it's like great for
Okay.
brainstorming.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
so that's what I wanted to ask, really. So I was just joking around, but I think, yeah, I think let's talk about that a little bit. What are you inputting into Chat GPT, and we're doing this right now too. So this is something I do want to update in the program, soon. But I want to do some tests myself. We're testing different. We're testing our own titles. We're testing some AI titles. We're testing our own, descriptions, some AI. So we're going to start working on doing a lot of this testing and to see who's the winner. I'll tell you the first. I'll give a little hint right now. We just tested an AI title versus one of our own titles. The AI title won out. So if you're familiar with A/B testing, at least through TubeBuddy, which we use,
yeah.
we can set it to statistically significant, which means it'll just run continuously until one of them is a clear winner. And the AI title won in 4 days, which is one of the fastest I've ever seen in
Wow.
ever. So I'm like, okay, was that the anomaly, or or are we gonna have to start AI generating all of our titles? Now the thing is some of the words it put in there too, I thought very interesting, a little catchy. Okay, I like it. It got me to think differently. But like you said, brainstorming, it's making me go, all right, maybe my assumptions or things that we think are working right. We have to test these sort of things. So tell me a little bit more about what it's helped you do and how you're utilizing it.
So I came up like the last time I used it was my most recent video that came out, which was 10 things I hate about Bluffton, South Carolina. And so I was having a really hard time like thinking about things that I hate about and put it in chat GPT, and literally 3 seconds later it had 10 really, really, really great topics. And I even said, give me 10 things that I hate about Bluffton, South Carolina, YouTube video written in a funny tone. So it made it kind of like goofy. And then also I did it in a way that I kind of could spin each one of those negatives into a positive, because I didn't want people to think like I actually hate Bluffton, South Carolina. So like when I opened up the video, I was like, there's 10 things I hate about Bluffton, South Carolina, but spoiler alert, I actually love Bluffton, South Carolina. That's why I sell real estate here. But these are 10 things that you probably should know about before you move here, right? So like the hurricanes, and I said, but the benefit of having hurricanes is you get good surfing after the hurricane. Or like Southern food. Like I love Southern food, but it's not good for your waistline, like stuff like that. So everything that was negative, I try to put a positive spin too. So
And how you've released that video, correct?
I don't think that one has come out yet. That one I think I just finished approving the editing. So maybe it has. I'd have to go look.
All right. Well, I was definitely interested to learn how the retention was at the beginning. So
Yeah.
is that the first one you've really kind of done that with, or have you
With
brainstormed? Yeah.
chat GPT. No, I've done it for quite a few. Like the last probably month I've been playing with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any of the other videos stand out that have you been A/B testing, or have you just been using it and like letting it run?
No, I mean, I pretty much like trust you guys to do your thing. So like I shoot the content and upload it. I label the video, the portions of the video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
Okay,
they know
gotcha. So
to put
you're
them in.
working with our editing team.
Yeah, once I put them in there for your guys, I like never look at it again.
Yeah, the team they do a little AI combination, so they still do manual SEO, but then they'll cross reference, and so they use a couple of programs that will do that for the video. So I know they're integrating it that, but this is where um, our channel that's very well established has all been manually generated, right, research, and so now we're going back and testing some older content. That's where we're doing the test on.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
yeah, if I wasn't using your editing team, I wouldn't be doing this.
gotcha.
Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't have that skill set, and I don't have that desire to be in the video editing world.
Yeah.
But
Well, I've never edited a video either. So
I
this
mean,
entire time.
the one thing I'll say as another little side benefit that I've come to appreciate is number one, I'm becoming more of a professional and more of an expert in my market, because going through and doing this research for every single video really makes me like a subject matter expert. And a lot of times when I'm having conversations with people, like I think back to like the video I made about that area or that neighborhood or whatever, and I'm like regurgitating some of my research that I came up with. But I'm like, if I hadn't have made a video about that topic, I would not have gathered that expert level knowledge about that, whatever it is, if it's that neighborhood or that retirement community. So it's really like adding to my own knowledge base. And then also like building relationships. So for me personally, like I've gone around and done somewhere like I feature my favorite restaurants, or, you know, I did one video that was pretty cool where I said, you know, is Bluffton a good place to live? And I went around to like 10 different business owners in my little local area. And I just had them on camera. I'm like, hey, you own a business here. You've chosen to operate a business here. Like, why do you feel like Bluffton's a good place to live? And I give them like a minute on camera to promote their business. Now I've like built relationships with 10 new business owners. And, you know, I even have like my customers that flew in, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to stay at the Bluffton Inn, the place that you know, talked about on your video. So kind of cool.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've always kind of stayed away from the business owner interviews, but I kind of like that. That's interesting to me, where you go around, or it could even be a compilation of yes, 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 yeah. Or but
Yeah.
if you can keep them to a minute, I can see how that could be a little bit more interesting, because then you could, have that pieced out, and you're breaking it up with 10 different business owners over 10, 12 minutes.
Right. So it's not them rambling on and on and on, but same thing. If you're just like building in little plugs, plugging all these little businesses, then those are all relationships. You
Yeah.
know, those are people that are going to remember you when you're walking down the street. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's the guy that came in and interviewed me about something. So I don't know. I've done it on a couple of them, and you know, I'll throw like plugs out for my friends' businesses and stuff, like on the things I hate about Bluffton or whatever. There was one about like there's bugs here, like there's, you know, termites and there's mosquitoes and there's this and that. But I have a friend who owns a pest control company, so I shot that little segment in front of his pest control truck. I'm like, but I got a guy for that if you want to call him. So, you know, I try to throw a few plugs in for my friends and stuff as well.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
And then I'm chopping up all the content and I'm spreading that out as my Facebook post too. So if I'll, you know, like you guys suggested that. So if I've got 10 segments for a video, then I'll sit down once a month and I'll schedule out a month's worth of Facebook posts, and I'll just use those little video clips. So
nice.
yeah.
Very nice. I really love what you said about becoming the subject matter expert in your area about research. I mean, it does stretch you out, right? You're learning a lot more about your city and your suburbs than you knew before. And I think it makes the video a little bit easier, right? Like once you've done all the research, and
Yeah.
whether you're typing that into something or writing it down or jotting notes or making bullet points, you feel like when you get ready to record, you're like, oh, I got this because I've been researching it for a little time now, right? Does that help out too on making the video?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, the quality of the video it's directly related to how much research you do up front, you know. And I mean, I spend quite a bit of time like planning out the videos, and like it's not a script, but I definitely have like bullet points of everything I want to talk about. And I think I spend like, you know, multiple hours planning them out. And then I spend quite a bit of time filming too. Like sometimes I'll spend the whole Tuesday afternoon filming, and sometimes I only get one video done and I have to go back Wednesday morning and wrap up like the next video. So, I mean, I'm investing a lot of time into it as well.
Yeah, but it's worth it, right?
Yeah, it's fun too. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is. Like
Oh,
you're
I know.
out exploring. Like, how much fun is it to like sit in an office and make cold calls when people expect like a real estate agent to know everything about all the neighborhoods and everything, you know? So you should be out in the field as much as you can.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, that's why I've never had a problem making videos on Saturday or Sunday sometimes in the morning. Because I'll be like, hey, you can grab the family, you grab the lady, or your spouse, or girlfriend, whatever. And we'll go out and we'll be like, hey, let's go grab some brunch, get some coffee. And then I'll be like, hold on, I'm going to go film real quick, give me 3 to 5 minutes. And really, I mean, for me now, I can do pretty much anything in 3 to 5 minutes around a certain area. And so, it gets them out and about, your family or your significant other or whoever, that if they're worried about you spending Saturday filming, you're like, look, let's just go out, spend a couple of hours, give me a couple of extra minutes here and there. And you can visit a coffee shop, go to brunch, go see a couple of attractions, go drive around the neighborhood real quick, maybe talk about the neighborhood, a couple of houses, and then boom, by lunchtime, easy to be done. And you've got to maximize that time and still get something done. Then take the rest of the day off, right?
Well, I do have a funny story about that, bringing the family along. I just shot a couple days, Tuesday, I was shooting best hiking and biking trails in Bluffton and Hilton Head.
Yep.
So one of my segments was riding the bike on the beach, and it happened to be like a busy day on the beach. And I'm like wearing like my slacks and my polo shirt, and I'm like riding my beach, like selfie style, holding the selfie stick out and talking to the camera. And like the beach is crowded, so I'm like weaving in and out of everybody. And my son was so mortified that he had to like ride along behind me. He said people were like pointing at me and laughing at me. And he's like, how can you do that? He's like, that was the worst experience of my life, Dad. And I was like, you know what? That's how we pay the bills. I said, I don't care if people laugh at me. Like, they could be laughing when I have $1 million in the bank.
Yeah, I know I mean, I don't know if you've seen the comparison I make, but I say like year one, if you average out our videos to the income, it's like we made $6,300 a video. Year two, it's like we made $15,000 a video. So yeah, you don't have to convince me to go make a video. I know the value of going out and making a video. And so sometimes I'll feel stupid as well. I'm like, oh, there's some people around gonna judge me. Don't care. I'm about to make $15,000, right?
Yeah.
So
the other thing I've been doing, and I don't know if this is right or wrong. I actually meant to ask your team about this, is if this will screw up my the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. But like, even if I get like my Facebook leads, they didn't find me on YouTube. But a lot of times I'll have a conversation with a Facebook lead, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm interested in this or that neighborhood. And I'll say, well, you know what? I just happened to make a video about that neighborhood. Do you mind if I text it over to you so you can learn a little more about it? And so then I'm taking like that video I made about Hampton Lake or Sun City and texting it to people that maybe didn't find me on YouTube, but I'm using it as like a sales tool as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, we kind of shied away from any of that in the beginning. I don't think sending out a video, because the thing is you can't stop somebody else from sharing your video. And if you want, and I mean, that's really what you want, right? You want people to share your videos. You want people to comment. You want them to like them. So I don't really believe in that, that it screws anything up. I would just, what we typically recommend is don't consistently post every video on your Facebook feed or something like that, because then
don't get all your friends and family on there. Like,
yeah, and that are clicking that, because normally that's like I call that platform psychology, which most people on short form platforms are not in the mindset to watch long form videos. So if they click over from Facebook and they see a 20-minute video, they're going to be like, oh, that's too long. And then they jump back after they just opened it up for like 3 seconds, or 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So now you're sending that to somebody with intention who is likely going to watch the whole thing. And that's it. If as long as they watch it, they'll hopefully they log in. Now you can also use a service, Link Twin. So if you go to linktwin.com, then what I would recommend doing is putting the link for your YouTube video in Link Twin and then sending that link to somebody on text. Because what that will do is, how when you open up a YouTube video that somebody sent you, it'll open up in the browser, not the app. And they won't be signed in. So if you use that link in Link Twin, it'll automatically open up their YouTube app and start playing your video inside their app.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So I would do that if you're going to share it. I mean, that's an extra step or so, but again, I just say we refrain from posting that consistently on other social media. We're testing right now. We're doing some email. newsletters, and we're including a YouTube video here or there in the newsletters to see what that does. All right. So again, I think testing anything, anything you have an idea about, I always just do a little research about it. And then I'm like, okay, well, I either make a decision on, well, do I test it or not? And most of the time I'm going to be like, I'm going to try it, at least, because I'm not worried about messing up my algorithm right now. I'm not going to do anything crazy that's going to, screw it up. So I'm just not concerned. Even like whenever I speak, when I speak, I'll get a spike. I could get 100 subscribers, from real estate agents. Now,
right.
I used to think, do I really want real estate agents? But I accept it now because I'm like, look, we get referrals all the time. And you know what the agents say? I love watching your channel, and then they refer us business. So, and I think that's a lot easier for those agents referring business to us to send them our YouTube channel, send their clients our YouTube channel, and then that helps make a better connection and it gives their clients something to research. So now I'm kind of like, I'll speak right now and I'll be like, hey, everybody pull out your phone, I'll tell them search living in Dallas, Texas, and our channel will typically pop up. And then I'll say, yeah, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have anybody moving to Dallas, feel free to reach out, so now I'm thinking, but they go on their app and I'll get a spike. I could get 100, 150 subs in one day, which is fine. And I'll see my views and everything will typically kind of go right back to where they were. So I'll see that spike and my subscribers will stay steady Eddie,
Yeah. Cool.
So, yep, go for it. All right. Well, anything else that so you're making some screen share videos, you said, some map videos, you're kind of doing a little combination of everything. Any other videos that have really worked out well for you?
No, I think my best videos are some of my earliest ones, which, I kind of went in with like the framework that you guys gave us, like make these videos first on that sheet.
Yep.
And so I made those first. And I do think that those are probably my highest views, maybe because they've been out the longest and they're like the meat and potatoes of what people are looking for when they're researching an area. So I think I do have I think I've got one maybe over 5,000 views, which is pretty good.
Nice.
And then the rest, they might be 300, 400, 500 views, but it's over time. And, so I don't know. I do a little bit of everything. I personally like being out running around, taking the videos out in the field, but the office videos are faster, and a little bit easier. So, maybe I'll try to do one out in the field and then I'll try to do one in the office per week just for time's sake. If I try to do two that are out and about in the community, I'll spend 2 full days on videos, so I don't know.
I've gotten it down. If I want to roll by myself, I can knock out 4. That's the most I've done, 4 neighborhood videos in one day.
Yeah.
And that took me about 6 hours to do that, but I'm pretty efficient, but I'm also moving pretty quickly on my own. This last neighborhood video we made that will come out on Sunday, it took almost a full day, and I brought our videographer. I mean, we went all out. We covered this. It's going to be a 35-minute video. So like we went all out. And to me, I'm like, that's where I'm going to start moving towards right now, just because I've been making longer pros and cons videos as well. So you might want to try that out. Maybe if it's been a year since that first one you put, it hasn't been a year. It's only been like 3 months. So I would say 5,000 views, you're doing pretty good, man. You just need some more content. That's it. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. And I do have a lot of longer ones. I've had some 30-minute videos. I mean, I might be overdoing it sometimes. Like the one I did yesterday for one neighborhood, I had 31 video clips that your team's going to have to mess with. So, I mean, it's a lot.
Well, I did a video about a month or two ago, maybe about 2 months ago. I did 18 reasons I love Dallas. I think it's almost a 40-minute video, but it's done really well. It's got almost 7,000 views on it. So a little bit on the longer side, but I think, again, I'm just looking for people that are researching that content, looking for it. And so right now I'm working on making some 30-minute pros and cons. Those have been doing really well. And so, yeah, a little combination of both. I can also crank out a 10, 15-minute video very easily. And from the office, yes, you can do several of those back to back. So It's
I
pretty
had
good.
one quick question for you.
Yeah.
I know originally you said if you're going to do listing videos, just do luxury because that's all people want to watch. And it seems like you guys are doing more in the lower price points as far as the listing videos. And I know you've got different partners that are doing that. What has the thought process changed a little bit on putting out lower price listing videos?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So I should probably do an update on that. Again, I test everything, right? And so now we are doing that. It seems we just put out, we had a listing on Friday for 499,000, made the thumbnail under 500K. It's doing extremely well, and we already sold that property, got it under contract in 2 days, and we're all of our last listings we've put under contract within 2 to 5 days, and the videos are doing well. So I think again, a lot of our average price point for our team is 509,000.
Okay.
So I think just going back to what I also mentioned, where you want to focus a little bit on the neighborhood, walk them around, do a nice little 2, 3, 4 minute intro. I think that just helps out. Give them a good overview, and then jump in there and really kind of do what you can to make that video evergreen. So you're not like just focused on that house, but you're talking a little bit more about the neighborhood, the community that it's in, things to do, amenities, what's close by, kind of share them with that. So, yep.
I got you.
Yeah. So I'd go for it.
Yeah. All right. Nice, man.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time today. Very insightful, and congratulations. I mean, within 3 to 4 months, 1.5 million under contract, and 3 more right on the cusp of going under contract. And that's pretty good conversion out of 19 leads, I would say. That's a very, very high conversion. Where you mentioned Facebook, you were seeing around 1%. That's pretty significant. And I was gonna ask you that, but you mentioned it, and that's what we typically see on average with Facebook. So a lot of quantity, not necessarily quality. And with YouTube, as you said, you're getting a lot of quality, especially with 5 possible deals out of 19. That's pretty good. So congratulations, man. Super excited for you.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have another call in a year and I'll be like, hey, I made my million.
Hey, oh, absolutely. I'll hold you to that.
Yeah. Actually, if I close 10, I'll be happy. But if I make a million, I'll be even more happy.
Well, we'll definitely check back, maybe even within the next 6 months. I think things are going to get very interesting over the next 6 months. And so, especially in your area, that's a good vacation spot, right? A good time for people to travel and keep an eye out for things. So,
yeah, and it's a huge retirement area as well. So it's one of the hottest retirement markets in the Southeast Coast.
There you go. And if people want to send some clients over to that area, then we'll link some contact information as well. If you got any referrals for David, he'll be happy to help you out. And thank you for joining me again today, David, and congratulations on everything.
I appreciate it, man. You guys are the best.
All right. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.